Namaskar friends, let's start our today's 10 important questions of auxiliary machines. These questions are very important for various exams conducted by different companies. Our first question is, the cooling water temperature in and out of the engine become too high. What is the most probably reason for this? And the options are, the control valve for the cooling water cooler is sticking, the temperature in the engine room is too high, the lubricating oil has too high temperature, fouled cooling water system. And the correct option for this question is, the control valve for the cooling water cooler is sticking. Our next question is, the cooling water temperature out of the engine becomes too high. Everything else is normal. What is the reason for this? And the options are, seawater is leaking into the fresh water in the cooler, low level in the expansion tank, fouled cooling water system, the amount of additives in the cooling water is insufficient. And the correct option for this question is fouled cooling water system. Our next question is, if there is never any water in the lubricating oil, why must we add water to the self-cleaning separator bowl? And the options are, to enable the transducer to get an accurate reference value, to clean the disc stack, to keep the interference in correct position, to minimize oil losses and prevent the sludge getting too hard. The correct option for this question is to minimize oil losses and prevent the sludge getting too hard. Our next question is, if oil flows out of the ball casing drain of the solids ejecting separator, what is the most likely problem? And the options are, oil has been fed to the separator before full speed, the flow rate is too high, insufficient amount of bowl closing water, the sludge tank is full. And the correct option for this question is insufficient amount of bowl closing water. Our next question is, in a purifier, assuming the separating temperature is correct, what is probably wrong if processed oil contains water? And the options are, gravity disk is too small, back pressure is too high, gravity disk is too large, gravity disk is too small, flow rate is too high. And the correct option for this question is, gravity disk is too small and flow rate is too high. Our next question is, if the water and oil have emulsified, is it possible to remove the water in the separator? And the options are yes, no, it depends on the viscosity of the oil, provided this is fresh water, yes. And the correct option for this question is no. Our next question is, which of the following factors affect the separation process? And the options are maintenance interval, temperature, feed rate, particle distribution, gravity, particle size, viscosity, density, difference. Density, viscosity, flow rate, temperature, gravity, disk diameter. Density, viscosity, flow rate, temperature, gravity, disk diameter. And the correct option for this question is density, viscosity, flow rate, temperature, gravity, disk diameter. Our next question is, what may be the reason to an unsatisfactory separation result for a fuel oil separator of L-cap type? And the options are, broken water seal, throughput too high, low level in the fuel oil settling tank, sludge deposit in the operating system. And the correct option for this question is throughput too high. Our next question is, what is the recommended back pressure for a lube oil separator? And the options are 1.4 bar, 3.5 bar, it depends on the installation, 2.0 bar. And the correct option for this question is it depends on the installation. Now let's go to our last question. What will happen in a purifier bowl if either oil density, viscosity or flow increase? And the options are, it depends on the change in temperature, loss of water seal, the interface moved inward, the interface moved outward. And the correct option for this question is the interface moves outward. Now let's summarize what we have studied in this video. The cooling water temperature in and out of the engine becomes too high. What is the most probably reason for this? The control valve for the cooling water cooler is sticking. The cooling water temperature out of the engine becomes too high, everything else is normal. What is the reason for this? Fouled cooling water system. If there is never any water in the lubricating oil, why must we add water to the self-cleaning separator bowl? To minimize oil losses and prevent the sludge getting too hard. If oil flows out of the bowl casing drain of a solids ejecting separator, what is the most likely problem? Insufficient amount of ball closing water. In a purifier, assuming the separating temperature is correct, what is probably wrong if processed oil contains water, gravity disk is too small, flow rate is too high? If the water and oil have emulsified, is it possible to remove the water in the separator? No. Which of the following factors affect the separation process? Density, viscosity, flow rate, temperature, gravity disk diameter. What may be the reason to an unsatisfactory separation result for a fuel oil separator of L-cap type? Throughput too high. What is the recommended back pressure for a lube oil separator? It depends on the installation. What will happen in a purifier ball if either oil density, viscosity or flow increase? The interface moves outward. Thank you for watching the video. Like and subscribe for more such videos.